Welcome to Royal Secret. It was supposed to be a celebration for the king, a day honoring the new monarch of Denmark, King Frederik X, as he marked his first official birthday since ascending the throne. The cameras were rolling, the world's royal watchers were tuned in. But no one, not even Queen Mary, expected what would happen next. In the middle of this elegant, state-orchestrated event, came a surprise so personal, so utterly charming, that it instantly captivated the nation. And the masterminds, none other than the king's youngest children, twins Princess Joséphine and Prince Vincent. What they did wasn't just adorable. It was symbolic. It was powerful. It turned a regal event into a family moment that melted even the coldest headlines, and possibly signaled a new chapter for the Danish monarchy. So, what exactly happened? How did two 13-year-olds take over a king's birthday? And what does it say about the future of the Danish royals? Copenhagen, May 26. The setting was near perfect. The Danish flag fluttered against the clear spring sky. Crowds gathered outside Amalienborg Palace, many draped in red and white, some holding flowers, others wearing homemade crowns. It was King Frederick's 56th birthday, his first as king since Queen Margrethe's shocking abdication just months earlier. The Danish royal house had gone all out. A palace balcony appearance was scheduled. A gala dinner awaited. The royal life guards stood in full regalia. And inside the palace walls, Queen Mary was orchestrating quiet perfection, her eyes everywhere, ensuring the day went smoothly. King Frederik had always been modest, more comfortable in sneakers than scepters. But today, he was the monarch. And Denmark was watching. And yet, just before the king stepped onto the balcony, something was happening behind the scenes. Something even he hadn't anticipated. Unknown to most, twins Princess Josephine and Prince Vincent, the king's youngest children, had been working on a plan. A surprise birthday gift, not a traditional one. No watches, no custom cufflinks, no ceremonial speeches. They wanted to give their father something from the heart. It started weeks earlier. Joséphine, spirited and artistic, came up with the idea. Vincent, more reserved but fiercely loyal, joined in quickly. Their plan, a heartfelt performance, a skit, a small musical number, part comedy, part tribute. A tribute to their father not just as king but as dad, and they had help. Queen Mary, always the bridge between tradition and modernity, approved it quietly. Princess Isabella offered input. Even Prince Christian, the heir to the throne, helped them rehearse lines and timed cues. But everything was kept secret. King Frederik had no idea. As the king stood on the balcony waving, basking in applause and national affection, murmurs began among the press. The twins were missing. Usually, the entire royal family steps out in unity. But today, no Joséphine. No Vincent. Then, a sudden commotion inside the palace. The grand doors behind the king opened again, and out they stepped. Joséphine wore a crisp cream dress, with a handmade birthday sash that read, "Till far, to Dad." Vincent had donned a smart blazer, his hair neatly combed, carrying what appeared to be a rolled-up poster. The crowd roared. Even Queen Mary looked momentarily stunned, and then her face lit up. The king, his reaction was priceless. He froze, then grinned, then laughed. A deep, genuine laugh. Joséphine curtsied dramatically, Vincent bowed stiffly, and then they unfurled the poster. It read in Danish, "Verdens bedst konge, verdens bedst far." World's best king, world's best dada. But the surprise wasn't over. With a wireless mic clipped to her dress, Joséphine stepped forward and delivered a short poem. One she had written herself. It was equal parts funny and touching. "You wake us up with bad jokes. And teach us to ride bikes in the rain. You rule a country with strength. But still fix our homework pain." The crowd laughed. Even the royal guards cracked smiles. Then Vincent, blushing but brave, joined in for the last line. "To the king who rules Denmark. But will always just be, Dad." The crowd clapped. Queen Mary teared up. Prince Christian leaned against a pillar, grinning. King Frederik, he stepped forward, embraced both of them in full view of the cameras, and whispered something that was picked up on the mic. "You've just given me the best gift I've ever received." Within minutes, clips of the moment were trending. On TikTok, fans paired the footage with soft piano music and slow motion. Instagram was flooded with emotional tributes. One viral post read, This is the future of royalty, real, raw, and relatable. Even international media weighed in. CNN called it a deeply human moment in an increasingly formal world. The Guardian dubbed it the most Danish royal birthday of all time. And the Danish press, ecstatic. Bild Bladet, Extra Bladet, BT all ran front-page spreads of the twins' surprise, with one headline reading: "The moment may seem lighthearted, even whimsical. But in royal terms, it was revolutionary." This wasn't just a personal tribute. It was a branding pivot. A monarchy once built on centuries-old traditions now offered a glimpse into its modern, beating heart. The Danish royal family has always walked the line between elegance and accessibility. But this was something else. Josephine's natural flair, Vincent's quiet dignity, their confidence on that balcony. It wasn't just about their father's birthday, it was a subtle message: we are here. We are the next generation. And we are human. For years, European monarchies have struggled to remain relevant. Queen Margrethe had modernized the Danish crown to an extent, but it is Frederick and Mary's children, especially the twins, who are poised to make royalty feel personal again. Princess Joséphine and Prince Vincent were born on January 8, 2011, less than 30 minutes apart. From the beginning, the Danish public adored them. But unlike their older siblings, Christian and Isabella, the twins were often kept more sheltered from the spotlight. Still, glimpses emerged: their first day at school, a family ski trip, birthday portraits. Joséphine was described as energetic, quirky, creative. The one who could speak her mind without hesitation. Vincent, thoughtful, observant, fiercely protective of his twin. Their bond is visible. Where one goes, the other follows. But rarely have they taken center stage. Until now. And in doing so, they've captured the public's imagination in a way that no PR team could ever orchestrate. Behind every well-mannered royal child, there's a parent, and in this case, that's Queen Mary. Known for her grace, strength, and relatability, Mary has long been credited with bringing Australian warmth into Danish tradition. But what few see is her influence behind the scenes. Sources close to the palace say Mary didn't just approve the twins' performance. She helped guide them, offering structure, helping rehearse their lines, ensuring it felt authentic but polished. This wasn't just two kids doing a school skit. It was a calculated, compassionate move. A way to remind Denmark, and the world, that behind the crowns are children, siblings, sons and daughters. Mary didn't steal the moment. She empowered it. If this birthday celebration proved anything, it's that the future of the Danish monarchy looks brighter than ever. Prince Christian may be the heir, but Joséphine and Vincent represent something equally vital: the human side of royalty. They aren't just secondary children. They're symbols of emotional intelligence, family unity, and national connection. And with a father like Frederick, emotional, grounded, deeply loved, and a mother like Mary, elegant, wise, visionary, the royal twins are growing up in a palace that prioritizes more than protocol. They're being raised to lead in their own way. How the twins' moment compares to other royal children worldwide. More royal family behind-the-scenes details. The Danish public's emotional reaction. How the surprise changed Frederick's speech. Royal critics versus supporters. A dramatic closing scene and open question for the viewer. The world loves royal children, and every monarchy handles theirs differently. In Britain, Prince George is trained as a future king, Princess Charlotte is already showing Windsor-style poise, and Prince Louis, well, the youngest Wales child, is often the cheeky scene stealer, waving and dancing on the Buckingham Palace balcony. But this, what Joséphine and Vincent did on King Frederick's birthday, wasn't cheeky or merely cute. It was creative, it was coordinated, it had emotional intelligence, and royal commentators noticed. Dr. Ingrid Sondergaard, a royal historian from Aarhus University, told Danish media, "This is not just a moment of affection. This is what we call soft power signaling, the monarchy's way of showing relevance in a digital era." And the twins executed it flawlessly. Across Europe, Spanish royal watchers compared it to moments from Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia, heirs raised under Queen Letitia's tight protocol. In Sweden, the tabloids noted how Crown Princess Victoria's children, Estelle and Oscar, are rarely this relaxed in public. One Swedish outlet even headlined, "Danish twins redefine royal childhood." King Frederik had a prepared speech for the day, a standard blend of tradition, national unity, and gratitude. It had been vetted, polished, reviewed by advisors. But after the twins' surprise, the king made a rare decision. He altered his speech, live, moments before stepping into the gala dinner. Standing before the Danish Prime Minister, diplomats, cultural figures, and a live television audience, Frederick took a pause. Then, he went off script. Today, I received the most unexpected gift. Not from my ministers, not from my staff, but from my children, Joséphine, Vincent, thank you. You reminded me, and all of us, what this monarchy is truly about. Family, unity, and love. The room erupted in applause. And in the royal box, Queen Mary's eyes shimmered. The public saw the performance. They saw the embrace. But what happened when the balcony doors closed? According to royal insiders, the king was overcome with emotion. He was holding them tightly, one palace aide later shared. He told them, "This is the kind of day I'll remember when I'm 90. Later that evening, in a more private family dinner, Joséphine reportedly shared a joke that made even Queen Margrethe, who had quietly attended the palace event from a side room due to her recent hospitalization, chuckle. The atmosphere inside the palace was not one of stiffness or formality. It was, for once, like any Danish family birthday, laughter, warmth, a father blowing out candles surrounded by his children. Except this father was also a king. The next day, Denmark responded like a proud parent itself. Thousands of messages poured in across royal social media accounts. The Danish royal house Instagram account, usually filled with formal portraits and event notices, became a flood of hearts, flags, and crying emojis. Comments read, "My heart can't take this level of royal cuteness. I was never a monarchist. Until now. Josephine and Vincent, thank you for reminding us that kings cry too." Copenhagen's main flower shops reported a sudden rise in flower deliveries addressed to the palace, many from children. One florist told BT, "People wrote notes like, 'For the twins who made our king smile.' It was beautiful." Even Danish schools joined in. At several Copenhagen elementary schools, teachers showed students the video of the twins, using it as an example of public speaking and family love. One teacher said, "Our students saw that royalty doesn't have to mean perfection. It can mean personality." Of course, not everyone was charmed. Some constitutional purists criticized the moment as too informal. One opinion piece from a conservative think tank in Denmark claimed, while heartwarming, the balcony is not a stage for performances. It risks turning monarchy into entertainment. Another critique from a British columnist at the Telegraph warned, "The Windsors would never have allowed such spontaneity. Denmark may lose some royal mystique if it leans too far into sentiment." But these voices were, by far, the minority. In fact, many Danish cultural scholars clapped back, saying, "What use is mystique in the age of transparency? What we saw was authentic. And authenticity builds trust." Later that week, Queen Mary visited a Copenhagen hospital for a scheduled royal engagement. Wearing a subtle brooch gifted by her children years ago, Mary was asked casually by a reporter about the twins' performance. She smiled, nodded, and said, "They practiced. They prepared. But what they gave their father was from the heart. I couldn't be prouder." She paused, then added, "Moments like that are why I believe in the next generation. They know how to carry the weight of tradition, and still bring joy." It was a rare quote, deeply maternal, quietly powerful. Queen Mary, once a Tasmanian marketing manager, now looked every inch a guiding monarch, raising the next generation with intention and warmth. In the days following the birthday event, international publications began profiling the twins in earnest. A French magazine referred to Joséphine as La Princesse Espiègle, the mischievous princess. A German outlet labeled Vincent, Der stille Charmer, the quiet charmer. But the real impact was domestic. Suddenly, Denmark wasn't just focused on Prince Christian's destiny as crown prince. Questions began to bubble. Could Joséphine be the future, people's princess, of Denmark? Would Vincent play a future diplomatic or military role? They may not be in direct line for the throne, but they were in the hearts of the people. What happened that spring day wasn't just a birthday surprise. It was a symbol of family unity, of a monarchy adapting with grace, of a country that found joy in simplicity, two children honoring their father with words, laughter, and love. In a world where royal scandals often dominate headlines, from exile dramas to court cases, the Danish monarchy gave the world something rare: wholesomeness. And not the artificial kind. This was real, because at the center of it all stood a father, King Frederik, laughing through happy tears. And two 13-year-old twins who reminded him, and Denmark, what true legacy really means. Thanks for watching.